Hey, good morning, homeschool friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Heather, and this is our 5th year homeschooling. And I started this channel this year to share all things homeschool, hoping to provide ideas and encouragement and just what works in our house for our homeschool. I have a 5th grader this year and a 1st grader this year, and this video is to show you kind of what a normal day in our homeschool looks like. It's a Monday morning here, and I wanted to just show you what a typical day looks like. So I'm getting breakfast ready right now. My kids are just waking up. We don't really go by a time schedule. We just have more of a routine, and they know exactly what's coming next. One thing that I like to do on the weekends is meal prep a little bit breakfast. It helps me just have one less thing I have to do. I like to get up before the kids and do my workout and go for my walk and get ready and dressed for the day so that by the time they get up, I've taken care of all of me, and then I can really focus on them for the rest of the morning. So yesterday I made this oatmeal blueberry bake, and that'll last us 2 to 3 mornings. And then I have my hard-boiled eggs boiled. So that just really helps me out in the mornings. So I hope you'll hang out with me today. I'm just gonna kind of take you along on what a typical day in our home looks like. Okay, so one of the first things we do in the morning is we always sit down and have breakfast together, and I read from a novel. Right now, this is what we're currently reading, and we usually read just about 1 chapter a morning. So I'm gonna get started with breakfast in our read aloud. Okay, so after I read in the morning, the kids clean up their place settings, and then we use these little charts just to help them kind of remember what needs to get done in the morning while I clean up the dishes and get ready to head to our homeschool space. Okay, so while I'm cleaning up the kitchen, the kids are getting their chores done. I already have this set out for them for the morning. This is their independent work that they do while they're waiting on me to get in here and get started. So my 1st grader works on his handwriting, and I've got little bookmarks in there so they know exactly what they're doing, and he's able to do both of these independently. And then my daughter works on her cursive and explode the code. This is also her independent work that I'll show you kind of later on that she gets into. Sometimes she gets up early and goes ahead and gets her reading done. And then this is her planner that I write in for her just daily, and then she just crosses off things as she goes. So this is their independent work in the morning that's set out for them, and they can get started on till I come in, and then we get started on our morning time together. All right, so kitchen is cleaned up, kids are working on their morning chores, and I am making myself a 2nd cup of coffee, and then I'm gonna head into our playroom and get started on our morning time. All right, so we've made it into our school area, and this is typically where we do our morning time together as a family. This is where we do family subjects like history, science, our nature studies, geography, and I don't do all of them in one sitting. Actually, we rotate weekly what we do. So we'll do science for a couple weeks, history for a couple weeks. Right now we're working on geography, and we're doing a study of different countries around the world. And with that, I'm using picture books from Beautiful Feet. So let me kind of show you what our morning time looks like this morning. All right, so this week we are working on Around the World with picture books. Last week we did France, and this week we are heading into Spain. So this is kind of my morning time area where I keep all of my books and books that we're going to be reading this week and then going into next week. So we're going to be studying a couple different things from Spain, Picasso, and some different animals that are found there, and then studying the different mountains that are found in Spain. So all of my materials are in my shelves, and this is just kind of filled with stuff that we use on a daily basis. So hang out with me as we study Spain this morning.
Visit Spain every year to gulp down the sunshine, the music, the art, the old architecture, and the famosa paella that make up Spain's contagious passion for living.
All right, so we're kind of finishing up our morning time here. Kids are working on their notebooking. Today we mostly focused on the geography of Spain, the landforms, the capital, some interesting facts about Spain. We watched a video, the major oceans that surrounded Spain, and so today they're working on their notebooking, and then tomorrow we'll dig a little bit deeper on some of the culture of Spain, Picasso, and I have some books back here, the Fandango and the Running with the Bulls and the bullfighting, all of that as our week goes on. I also like to do a written narration every week of what stood out to the kids, what they want to remember. And so we usually start working on that more like Tuesday or Wednesday. But on Mondays, we watercolor our background. And my daughter had this great idea of watercoloring it to match the colors of the flag. And we did one last week. Let me show you up here. When we did France, you see that one right there. So we did it the colors of the flag, and we learned about the Eiffel Tower, and then she did a written narration on that, and then my son's was right here. So we kind of work on these every week. On Mondays, they usually just paint the background, and then we work on them throughout the week. So we're just about finished up with our morning time, and then we'll start our independent subjects, and I'll kind of walk you through that as we do that as well. All right, so they're finished with their notebooking this morning. I just kind of wanted to show you kind of what it came out looking like before we start our independent subjects. Okay, so I did forget that we are going to paint our flags this morning so that they're good and dry for the rest of the week to do our artwork on them and our written narration. So that's what they're working on right now. Okay, so for my son's reading this morning, we're going to be using this book from Pathways. My original plan this year was to use All About Reading and The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts, but he had started this over the summer and had done so well with it that we decided to continue with it and just pause The Good and the Beautiful for now. We're still doing the All About Reading a couple times a week, and then for his language, we pulled in First Language Lessons for the Well-Trained Mind Level 1. So today what we're going to do is he's reading a story. So I always like to front load the story with any of the unknown words before he reads, and then he's going to be reading this story to me today. And then there's usually a page that goes along with the story to work on comprehension. So that's what he's doing for his reading today. And then for first language lessons, we've been working on common and proper nouns. And today we're going to continue that lesson. It's just this page here. One thing we started this year was this little reading chart that we had seen from another mama. And my son fills in the title of the book that he reads every day to me, and then when he gets it all filled in, then he gets a special ice cream date with mama. All right, so after I work with my son on his reading and language arts, my daughter has been working independently on a lot of her work. So she read her reading assignment in her chapter book that she's reading, and she did the independent work that goes along with this. This is from Lightning Literature Grade 5. So it shows her what chapters she's reading, a couple comprehension questions, and then her grammar for the week is working on verbs and past tense verbs and irregular verbs, and she just kind of goes through here and reads this on her own. And then there's a little bit of practice work using those past tense verbs. And we had to kind of go over some of the spelling of them. So we kind of had like a little mini lesson in there. So her grammar and her reading is all in one. Now this curriculum does include the composition. However, I don't use the composition aspect of it because she is using Essentials in Writing, which, let me grab it. Oh my goodness, here it is, which is video-based. And the reason I like this so much is because the instructor, Mr. Stevens, does such a good job of modeling the writing process for them. So we've used this for the past 2 years and now using level 5. So today she was working on an expository personal letter and identifying the audience and the purpose of her reading prompts, and then going over the different parts of the letter. And then tomorrow she'll work on her organizing her thoughts and her draft, and then she'll revise and edit, and we'll go over it. She'll put her final copy here, and then we'll go through the checklist of her writing and then the format of the letter. So that's kind of her writing for the week, and it kind of gives her the little prompt of what she's writing about. And so we use this for her writing. This also includes grammar too. So when we aren't doing grammar with her reading, then we do pull some of the grammar from here. It just kind of depends on what she's using for her novel study at the time. I think that makes sense. Okay, and then for her spelling, for the past few years, we have used All About Spelling. And I was looking for something new this year, so we started trying out sequential spelling, and I've actually really loved it. It started out very, very super simple, and she was looking at me like I was crazy because it started out with these really easy words, but it quickly picked up and built on those tiny little words to where we're in much, much, much bigger words now. So basically what we do is we just go through and I call out the words to her, and we make corrections right away if needed. And that's just been like a really quick spelling for her, and it's really been helping reinforce all of the spelling rules, like doubling the final consonant before adding the suffix, all of those rules that she's learned with All About Spelling. It's really helped kind of like drive that home. So we've really enjoyed that. Okay, so that's it for her. We've done her reading and her grammar and her writing, and my son is all finished up with his language arts as well. Okay, so we're about halfway through now. We've done our morning time. We're all done with reading, language arts, everything underneath that umbrella, phonics, grammar for both of my children. Right now they get a little bit of a break. I usually let them have a snack or something like that, no more than like 5 or 10 minutes, because I don't want to lose their focus too much, but they do get a break. Then my daughter's gonna work on her math. She's using BJU grade 5. Today she has a test. And then I'm using Math with Confidence for my first grader. So while I'm doing his lesson, her lessons are video based. She works on that, and then when I finish up with him, because I usually finish with him before she's finished, then I hop on over to her. She likes to work in the kitchen with her DVD player. Then I hop on over to her and help her finish up with her lesson, and then that pretty much finishes up our day. Okay, so my daughter is off doing her math independently right now, and I'm gonna sit down with my son. He usually likes to have a snack while we do his math, and we are using Math with Confidence 2nd grade for him, and today we're working on writing the dollar with a decimal point. So we're gonna go through his lesson. They're usually not very long, and then he does his work in his workbook. Touch them while you count them.
20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 76, 77, 78.
Good. 78 what?
$.
Can you write that for me? Oh, your S is going to go the other way. How much was it? 78?
Yes.
Okay, put your dollar side down first. That's one way. What's the other way you can write it? Where does your decimal go in this one? Good. So we don't actually have to put this line here. That was just showing you that when there's no extra change here, when there's no extra cents, we can write it like that. So my daughter's working outside right now on her math test, so I won't go out there and disturb her, and I'll let her focus on that. Okay, so we are all finished up for the day. We have tackled everything that was on my planner. It was a long day, but we got everything done, and we're gonna go head to the park now to have some fun. I hope you found this video helpful.